Hi dear students, today we are going to be together again. My name is Esra Kandilci. I'm an English language teacher. Our topic is jobs today. We're going to talk about jobs and the unit's name is What a Job. Now, let's start with my job. What's my job? Yes, I'm a teacher. What does a teacher do? Yes, a teacher prepares lesson plans and teaches to the entire class, or maybe individually or to small groups. A teacher also prepares tests and tracks students' progress and work with parents, inform parents about their children's progress, and also works with administration, etc. and etc. Why am I asking these questions? Yes, I'm asking these questions because I'm sure that you started planning your future career. So these points are really very important. You're going to decide what to do, so you have to consider some questions. For example, what do you want to do? How much will you earn? How many hours are you going to work, etc. and etc. Okay. Now, have you ever imagined the perfect job? Do you think that is there a perfect job? And what would you choose? There are also some weird jobs, very interesting jobs, okay? And the people in the photos are disabled here. And in society, disabled people are really very successful. They have really very successful careers. Now, first, we are going to look and try to find what their disabilities are. Yes, in the first photo, we see the man in a library, I think, and he is, yes, in a wheelchair. In the second one, there is a little boy, and he is learning the sign language, okay? And we can say that he is deaf, yes. And in the third one, there is a woman in the street, and she has a guard dog with her, so she is blind. Now, we are going to, do you think that before listening, we are going to listen to a program, but before listening, do you think these disabled people can do all the jobs below? Why or why not? For example, teacher, taxi driver, actor, musician, shop assistant, pilot. What do you think? I think this is just an example, okay? A person in a wheelchair can be a teacher, but I'm not sure a deaf person can be a pilot. Maybe it is difficult. I don't know. Now, this time we're going to listen to a program with a woman, and her name is Marina Stewart. And after that, you're going to choose the correct options. Before listening, let's have a look at the questions. What are we going to choose? First, we are going to define her disability, okay? And then we are going to find out her job. Are you ready? Okay, it's coming.
And here we are looking at the world of work and jobs. Now, sometimes it's not easy to get a job. And it can be much, much harder to find a job if you have a disability. For example, if you need to use a wheelchair or you are blind. But of course, there are lots of disabled people who have very successful careers. We shouldn't forget that not long ago, Britain had a Minister for Education who was blind. Every day this week, we're talking to people with disabilities about their jobs. And today, Mike Lawley meets Marina Stewart.
Marina, when you were born, you already had problems with your eyes. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I could only see partially, and when I was 18, I had an operation to get rid of the problems. Unfortunately, the operation went badly wrong, and I was left completely blind.
So, what about your education?
Well, I went to a special school for blind people, and then I went to college. But somehow, the teachers at the college for blind people just didn't think we could get good, interesting jobs.
You mean the teachers didn't think you were going to be successful? That's terrible.
I know. And so I didn't really know what to do. I got a job in a shop, but I hated it. I stayed because I felt that, Well, because I was blind, I really didn't have much choice.
But one day, all that changed, right?
Yes, I was in a cafe in London, and by accident I met someone who was in the theatre. We talked a bit, and I found out that he was the director of a group of disabled actors. He invited me to go to a workshop, and I went. I loved it, and soon I started doing real acting.
Then what?
Well, after working in the theatre, I got an offer to work in television for the first time. I worked in 2 or 3 television films, and I'm happy to say that one of them won an award.
Acting isn't the only thing that you do, is it?
No, I also love music, and I play the piano, and I give piano lessons at home to small children. It's wonderful. I love it almost as much as acting.
So, it looks like that teacher was wrong. It is possible for a disabled person to be successful in the world of work. Is that right?
Yes, it is. When I was young, when I was a child and a teenager, no one thought I could do much. And it was hard to imagine what jobs I could do. But I fought hard, and the most important thing is, I didn't let being blind get in my way. I have always wanted people to think of me as Marina Stewart. That's all. I'm Marina first, and then I'm a blind person.
Yes. We listened, and before going with the answers, let's summarize what we listened. Yes. What did you understand from the listening text? Okay. Now, let's have a look at the summary. When she was 18, an operation on her eyes went wrong. Before that, she could see partially, but she was left completely blind after that operation. And the teachers at her school didn't think blind students could get good jobs, so they were really very demotivating. She didn't leave the job that she hated. I'm sure that you got it. She was working in a shop as a shop assistant. She wanted to leave, but she couldn't because she felt that she had no choice but to stay. Meanwhile, while she was in a cafe, she met the director of a group of disabled actors by accident, okay? After that, she became an actress. First, she acted in theaters and one of the films, because after that, she started to act in television, that she acted in won an award. She also loves music, and she can play the piano, and she gives piano lessons at home to small children. Now, after that, it is very easy for you to get the answers. Yes, Marina is blind, and Marina works as, yes, very right. You're very right. An actress, both an actress and a piano teacher. In fact, she was a really very successful person. Very good. And please think about their life, okay? How would your life be different if you were deaf? What would you do? And it is possible, at any time for all of us, okay? How would your life be different if you were blind? What would you do? How would your life be different if you were in a wheelchair? Okay. Please consider, please think about these points all the time. Okay. Now, let's go on with some vocabulary now. Work as, work in, work for. Now, first, let's read the sentences. There were men who worked as lamplighters. Marina Stewart got an offer to work in television. Harry Wilshire works for Suizels. Now, work as, work for, work in. We're going to match them with the objects. A company, an industry, a person in a job. Yes, work as, yes, a person in a job. For example, my mother works as a cleaner at a hospital. Work for, very good. Work for a company. My sister works for a computer company, for example. Work in, yes, there is only one left, an industry. Let's say my brother works in management training industry management training. Okay, work in. And let's have an exercise after that. Complete the sentences with as, in, or for. When my mother was young, she worked a waitress to earn some money. A waitress, a job. So she worked as a waitress. After that, she was a secretary. She worked some lawyers. She works, yes, very good, for some lawyers. Now she works the computer industry. With industry we use, yes, works in, very good. My friend left school 2 years ago and got a job. She worked a tour guide. A person in a job. She worked as a tour guide for about 6 months and really liked it. So she decided she wanted to work the travel industry. Industry, we use, yes, in with industry. Wanted to work in the travel industry. Now she works a travel agent job. Yes, she works as a travel agent in Australia. My father works, television now, works in, yes. He works a cameraman job, yes, very good. He works as a cameraman and he works, yes, for the biggest television company in the country. I'm sure you got it very well. So let's go. Let's go on with our characters, with our photo story. And I'm sure that you remember our characters. Now, this is Olivia, and this is Luke, and Megan and Ryan. They are discussing about something again, but today they are not in the park, they are at school today, as you can understand from the photos. Now, we have questions for you. We are going to listen and learn. We are going to give their answers. What are they raising money for? We can understand that they are going to raise some money. What ideas do they have for raising money? And what do they decide to do in the end? Okay, let's go.
Hi, Olivia. What happened to you yesterday?
Oh, I just didn't feel very good. I'm all right now, though. By the way, here's your book back, Ryan.
Oh, thanks. Well, you missed the new headmistress's announcement yesterday.
Oh, what about?
We've been asked to do something for charity.
Miss Dawes wants to raise money for the playground in the park. They really need some new things.
We thought the four of us could do something together. Want to join us, Olivia?
Well, yes, that would be great. As long as we can have some fun too.
That's not the point, Olivia. It's not about fun. It's about raising money for a good cause.
Okay, but what are we going to do?
That's a good question. Ideas, anyone? What can we do to raise some money?
Yes, what do you understand here? They are going to raise money for the playground because a playground is going to be built in the park. So the headmistress asks students to raise some money. So they are discussing what to do about it. So let's go on.
A long walk? You know, overnight or something?
Could be dangerous at night.
What about a sponsored book read?
Oh, what?
We all try to read as many books as possible in, say, 2 days, and people give us money for doing it.
Oh, no thanks. Surely we can think of something better than that.
Look at that. Our teachers' cars are so dirty.
Ugh, you're right. They could all use a trip to the car wash, but the only one in town has been closed for a while.
That's it. A car wash.
Good idea. We'll set everything up right here and people will pay us to wash their cars.
That sounds great. Megan?
Sure. Let's tell Miss Dawes. Then we can go and find buckets and sponges.
Yes, they discussed and they had some suggestions. Megan suggested a long walk and the other suggested reading books. But in the end, they decided to do car wash. But what's going to happen, do you wonder? What are your ideas? I think they wash lots of cars, but no one gives them any money. Do you wonder? Let's watch to learn it.
This is fun.
Yes, it sure is hard work too. Oh, my back. I am going to be hurting tomorrow, that's for sure.
You wimp, Olivia.
Ow! Now who's the wimp?
Hey, less messing around and more work here.
I wonder how much money we've made.
Well, the price is £5 a car, and we've washed a lot of cars.
Hey, how about using a little of the money for some snacks? I'm starving.
No chance, Ryan. This money is for the little children of the town.
Ah, yes, the little children. Oh, no.
What's wrong?
I've scratched it.
What?
The car. I've scratched it. I think there was a small stone or something in the sponge. I wasn't really paying attention.
You're right. There's a scratch. What are we going to do?
Tell Miss Dawes, I guess.
She'll be really angry, won't she?
I don't think so. Well, maybe.
But it's what we have to do. Well, it's what I have to do. I'll be back in a minute.
So now you've damaged a car. I told you when you came to me with this idea that you had to be very, very careful. I made it quite clear that the school would have to pay for any damage that you might do. This is supposed to be a fundraiser, not a fund loser. I'm really upset with you right now. OK, which car is it?
It's this one.
This car? This is my car.
Oh, no.
Where's the damage, Ryan?
There. I'm so sorry. It really was an accident.
I can see it. You know what? It's not too bad. I think if we get some polish and we work at it, we can sort that out.
We? You mean me? I'll do it.
OK. I think I've got some polish in the car. Let's have a look. That's fine, Ryan.
You can still see it a bit.
Yes, but the car isn't new, and you're doing your bit for such a good cause. So let's forget about it. And thank you for telling me. Not everybody would do that.
Wow, that's a relief. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I'm glad that's over.
But it was good though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But I don't want to wash another car ever again.
How much money did we make today, Megan?
£300 for nice new playground equipment.
And some points for Ryan from the new headmistress. A good day's work, I think.
Yes, what good students. They are really trying to do very good things. Now, what did happen? What happened in this episode? Okay, let's see it. The friends have thought of a great idea to raise money for the playground in the park. They are going to wash their teachers' cars. They decided it. The plan goes well until Ryan realizes he has accidentally scratched the head teacher's car. Although Miss Dawes is cross, she appreciates that Ryan owned up to his mistake. She is pleased that he and his friends were doing something to help others. In the end, The friends are happy because they have raised a lot of money for the good cause. Okay, as you see, what happened in the story in the photos. Now, we are going to choose the answers. How much do they charge to wash one car? Do you remember? Your guess? Yes? I want to take your guesses. Yes. 5 pounds. And how did Ryan think he scratched the car? There was a stone in the sponge. He kicked a stone into the car, or his watch hit the car. Which one? Yes. There was a stone in the sponge. Why is Miss Dawes not very angry? She doesn't care about a car. Ryan moves the scratch completely. The scratch wasn't very bad. Yes, why isn't she very angry? Because the scratch wasn't very bad. How do the 4 kids feel at the end? They want to do it all again. They are tired and happy. Their backs hurt. Which one? Yes. They are tired and happy. Very good. Now, are these sentences true, false, or no information? Doesn't say. Megan and Olivia have backache. Is it true? Yes, that's true. Ryan uses some of the money to buy snacks. Do you think that is true? Of course not. Yes, he jokingly suggests this, but he doesn't do it really. Ryan found a small stone in the sponge. False, because he thinks there might have been a small stone in the sponge. Miss Dawes was planning to buy a new car. Did we listen such information? No, doesn't say here. She says it's an old car, but she doesn't mention if she has plans to buy a new one. The friends raised £300 for the playground. Yes, that's true. Very good. Now, this time match the 2 parts of the mini dialogues. That's a relief. They'll love it. Not completely. Mrs. car was scratched. That was a good idea. Not really. All the teachers wanted their cars to be washed. I wonder what the children will think of the new playground. Which one do you guess? Yes, that's it. They will love it. We thought we could wash the teachers' cars. Which one? Yes, that was a good idea. Was it hard to raise the money? Yes, not really. All the teachers wanted their cars to be washed. Did everything go well? Not completely. Miss Dawes' car was scratched. You don't have to wash any more cars. That's a relief. Okay, tam bir rahatlama diyor. Okay, now these expressions are from the story. How do you say them in your language? By the way, Olivia said this. Oh, I just didn't feel very good. I'm all right now, though. By the way, here is your book, Ryan. Back, Ryan. Bu arada derken, ya çok iyi hissetmiyordum kendim ama iyiyim şu anda. Bu arada bu da senin kitabın, işte geri getirdim anlamında diyor Olivia. As long as, Olivia said this, as long as we can have some fun too. As long as here means if. Yani bir şey olduğu sürece, yani eğlenme şartıyla anlamında. That's not the point. Ryan said this. That's not the point, Olivia. It's not about fun. Mesele bu değil, Olivia. Yani bu eğlenceyle ilgili bir konu değil. Konumuz bu değil şu anda, diyor. That's not the point. Surely, muhakkak, kesinlikle. Surely we can think of something better than that. Luke diyor ki, ne diyor? Muhakkak biz bundan çok daha iyi bir şeyler düşünebiliriz, bulabiliriz. For a while, bir süreliğine, kısa bir süre. They could all use a trip to the car wash, but the only one in town has been closed for a while. Arabaları yıkatmak için bir süre gitmeleri lazım biraz ama bir süredir o da kapalı, diyor araba yıkama yeri. That sounds great. Harika. Kulağa ne kadar hoş geliyor. Çok hoş geliyor. Ryan said this. That sounds great, Megan. Okay. Now, let's read and match the expressions. Hey, let's have a party on Saturday. We haven't had a party for a while, have we? Great. Where? That sounds great. Where? Well, I thought perhaps my place. Really? I thought your parents were really strict. Yes, they are usually. Surely. They'll be okay with a small party. Well, I think so. As long as it really is a small party. By the way, I'm not going to invite Alison. We had a big argument yesterday. You can tell your parents that the party won't go on late. That's not the point. My parents just don't like a little noise. Okay. Now, taking responsibility, our life skill we learn from our story to take responsibility. What is taking responsibility? It means that to accept your faults. If you say when you do something wrong, you can say that, yes, it's my fault. I don't blame others, so it means that you take responsibility, and it is a good skill, really. Taking responsibility when something goes wrong isn't always easy, but taking responsibility often stops problems getting bigger over time, and people are more likely to respect and trust us. Think about the future story. Imagine you're Ryan. How would you feel if you saw the scratch on the car? I think you got angry. Imagine you're the headmistress. How would you feel if Ryan told you about the scratch? For example, at first you may got nervous, but because he told the truth, then you became calmer. How would you feel if Ryan didn't tell you about it? This time, I think you got really very nervous, very annoyed. Now, here are some tips for you. Telling someone what happened is usually the best way to show you're taking responsibility. If you can do that, write a letter or an email. Don't be surprised if the person you need to talk is too angry or upset at first. Stay calm, and they will realize that you're taking responsibility. It's important to be sincere when taking responsibility. Don't make excuses. Just say, what happened? Okay, it's a good way. Now, we have, again, some expressions, some exercises. In the end, at the end, in the past, in the next few years. Yes, in the first one, in the past, there were many jobs. Will more jobs be replaced in the next few years? What do they decide to do? Yes, in the end. Okay, very good. And the last part, fun time. Now, here, please think of a job you might like to do in the future and look at the values below. And to add more values, here are values. You can make a lot of money. You might become famous. It helps people. It's fun to do. It gives you lots of free time. It's great. So please, 2 more values. Rank them from 1 to 8. And then please share your values with us. And that's the end of our lesson today. Thank you all for your participation. See you next lesson.